Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah.
Rolling.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1493, Feb 27, 2025. 58 degrees on this day in 2016, and it was 22 below on the morning of this day in the year 1879.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Height in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
I'm wearing my Downtown Minneapolis Neighborhood Association safety whistle.
Oh, you're safe now.
And Bert dropped these off.
Stop. I don't think I do that again.
No. You're not in the room.
Okay, now you're under duress. There's a gang of 5 guys who look just like me coming at you.
Yep.
And we're on a mission. Blow that thing like you're about to lose your life. Go ahead.
You're dead.
Buddy, you lost your life.
He got a whistle.
You dead.
Can I tell you something? Not only is the whistle ding-ding, but the lanyard is worth 5 times the whistle. It's really one of the better lanyards I've ever seen. It's got a neat little clip. And I have many things that I need lanyards for. So I'm ditching the whistle and using the lanyard.
I have a question. From a production quality aspect, what do you think costs more? The ding-ding whistle currently around your neck or the divot repair tool we handed out at the golf show last Friday?
Wow.
Dead
not
even.
a nice
They're
question.
both 3 cents.
Which one would help you be protected more?
Wait, could you hang the
divot
divot
tool.
repair
Right.
thing? Could you hang it from that lanyard?
Yeah, you know what I could do? Drill a hole in it. Because it would be better for safety than this whistle. Okay, tell me that I'm being threatened from behind now. Give me some sort of sign that I better alert people to the way.
Hey,
Watch out.
buddy, give me your wallet.
Behind you.
Sounds like a popcorn fart. Yeah, passing a little gas there, Grandma.
Do we have the financial amount that the city of Minneapolis invested into this high-tech safety
We
device?
asked about that yesterday. We were wondering if the fined DFL commie taxpayers in Minneapolis had to pay for that. Didn't we look it up and we had a number, I thought.
Now, I don't know who funds the Neighborhood Association, Safety Association. See, I've been copied, a couple of Wall's notes. Where's the one that it was the most surprising? Matt Melius writes, I'd like to put to bed any debate about whether the DFL would be behind Kim Jong-Walls as he wants to be reelected for governor. I attended the Jim Gaffigan comedy show at the Orpheum last night. Kim Jong-Walls made a cameo appearance to introduce Gaffigan, presumably because Gaffigan impersonated the dear leader on Saturday Night Live, so the governor aw-shucked his way through a very awkward intro. Prior to speaking, Walls received a standing ovation from 90% of the audience. This wasn't just a mild ovation. There was screaming and shouting and total celebration of the dear leader. It went on for several minutes. I wish I could say I was surprised. Let there be no doubt that the DFL remains solidly behind this buffoon, always pushing back but getting more and more disillusioned. Matt for Minitrista. Isn't that something?
Well, that's in this state. I mean, is alarming.
I don't get it.
Joe, if he went anywhere else in the country, he wouldn't receive this response.
And then I was copied on a fundraising note that Kim Jong-Walls is sending to supporters. And it reads, Tim Walls here. I want to put the speculation to rest. I'm not running for U.S. Senate. I love my job as governor and am currently focused on making Minnesota the best state to live, work, and raise a family. Well, Tim, it isn't the best state to do that. While Trump and Musk attack working families, you've not done that, have you, Tim? We're feeding our kids, however fraudulently, investing in schools and making childcare affordable, however fraudulently. My God, it's all fraud. He's touting the fraud. Not specifically, but, well, our work in Minnesota is more important than ever, and I haven't ruled out a third term. Oh, boy, I have. But nothing we do is possible without you. If you're ready to keep fighting for a future where no one is left behind and nobody gets told they don't belong, stand with me and send a donation to power our work today. If you're ready to keep fighting for a future where no one is left behind, chip in 10, 25, 50 bucks or more today. Donate here, wallsflanagan.us/decision. Text stop to quit. I hit stop.
At that fundraiser that you were speaking of,
That's not a fundraiser. It was just
Sorry.
a text seeking funds.
Alpha News unearthed some audio of.
That wasn't at a fundraiser.
Well, this
That was
surfaced
at the
yesterday,
Minnesota
right?
Nurses Association Day on the Hill on Tuesday.
Thank you,
okay.
Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. And he had this to say at that event.
We're going to need your voice there, because I would just end with this, and we're seeing it in these town halls. That charismatic leader's not going to come there. You know, I see the pundits on TV. What's wrong with the Democratic Party? What's wrong is our country's being stole by fascists and Nazis, and we're trying to do all we can to try and do that. But we need to use all the tools.
See, if you're listening and you weren't able to make that out, Tim said, I see the pundits on TV saying, what's wrong with the Democratic Party? And then Tim says, what's wrong is our country is being stolen by fascists and Nazis. That's the quote. And to that, I would say, Joe, the reception that he received at Gaffigan's show last night is the reason why he doesn't understand why they lost. He thinks they're universally loved.
Beloved, yep.
And he doesn't understand that the reason they lost was the ticket. It's the same reason Trump lost 4 years ago. It's the ticket. It's the person running. That's why you lost.
Well, that and wherever Walz appears, he's going to get a big hand, particularly in this state, because he's not Trump.
Right. Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
John, before I get back to these matters, I can clear something up, and I thank you. I thank emailer Arthur McBride for straightening this out, and I will use this in my defense, John.
Yes, sir.
I've been saying Max Roach was in the film business, and he's a very famous black drummer. Wonderful drummer.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of Hal Roach, who produced all the Laurel and Hardy stuff.
Yeah. Well, we threw those names out the other day, but you pretty much ignored us.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up.
Yeah, but see, I got an email about it, which is...
Well, that's right. You don't listen to us.
John Joe doesn't do that kind
See,
of
I
stuff.
got the email now.
We didn't get our own joke.
Yeah, it's official. You know,
It's
I
good to
got
be
it.
included with you, Kenny.
I was thinking of Hal Roach.
Al Roach. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for that
excuse me.
emailer
Did you
to-
boys
for
point
clearing-
that out? I
Yeah.
didn't know that until I got this email.
Appreciate that clear email.
And then I did note during yesterday's brief weather records, which I always provide as a public service. By the way, I have found my ice out dates sheet. We didn't lose it. I had it tucked away.
Good.
I wonder if we'll set a record this year. The record, of course, in Minnesota goes back to 1858.
You mean for late outs, right?
What do you
You're
mean?
not thinking early outs, are you?
No, I'm sorry. I wonder if we'll set a record for early outs.
Oh, we've got 2 feet of ice, Joe.
Well, I'm just saying the record.
maybe in the metro.
The record remains March 30, 1858, Lake Minnetonka.
Okay,
March
for
30.
one. All right.
When
for
they
that
had
late.
such terrible climate change, the ice went out on March 30. Yesterday, we noted those swings of temperatures in the records. in Minnesota for the swings of temperatures. And Tim notes one of the Guinness World Records is for the greatest temperature change in a 24-hour period. Montana takes both first and second place in that category. The greatest temperature change occurred on January 14, 1974 in Loma, Montana. At 9 a.m., it was 54 degrees below zero. And 24 hours later, it was 49 degrees above. Wow. A temperature swing of 103 degrees. The second greatest temperature change occurred on January 23, 1916 in Browning, Montana. The temp plummeted from 44 degrees above zero to 56 below in less than 24 hours, a 100-degree swing downward. So Montana holds the records for both the greatest warm-up, 103 degrees, and the greatest cool-down, 100 degrees, in a 24-hour period. And the Rockies, of course, play a role in these extreme weather events. Now back to the fraud in the state of Minnesota, which is always an amusing topic. We have this tweet from House member Tina Liebling, who, given her background, shouldn't be this stupid. Democrats continue to oppose any effort to staff fraud. In the latest is Tina Liebling, District 23, Rochester. She said there is no fraud in Minnesota, and she said, I don't know why this is stuck here. Just a minute. She said, God dang it! Oh. I wonder, you know what? I'm reading a text that picked up me. It's recording my voice.
You're recording yourself.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this.
Is that idea for that business of mine? Did I do this idea on the air or off the air?
Off.
Anybody over the age of 60, when you buy a new iPhone, it automatically comes with your very own personal assistant to help you with all things technical. They're there for you 24 hours a day.
Well, here's her exact tweet. We just don't really hear in Minnesota of any corruption within government.
We don't know that.
And again, given her background, she should not be that obtuse. She's an attorney. She's married. She has 3 kids. She was born and raised in Minneapolis.
Joe, that has to be taken out of context. You can't be that stupid.
What's the rest of the?
Where's the rest of the quote?
There isn't any that I am being made.
Hold on,
aware
I'm going to
of.
listen to this. I've got 60 seconds here.
She is the daughter of noted photographer Jerome Liebling. I wish I know of A.J. Liebling, the great writer. I don't know of the photographer Jerome Liebling. Does anyone? Staff? Anyone?
No.
And then her family moved away from the area, and she returned to attend the University of Minnesota. In any event, Tina Liebling, you can't be this moronic. What are you? Don't read the news every day? Goodness gracious! And Tina, it's your governor precisely who leads to reasonable speculation that the government absolutely is involved in the fraud, because he holds no one accountable, nor is he ever outraged. What he passes off as outrage is a convenient, he occasionally adopts a convenient affectation that he's troubled by it.
Shocked. Wasn't shocked.
Shocked or bothered by it. But he has he has never really done anything to suggest that he's not involved, to tell you the truth. And I know I keep saying that, nobody pays attention. I mean, when the dear leader shows up at a Gaffigan comedy concert, the dear leader gets a big hand. So maybe we have to start, you know what we should start doing? Trying to love Walls. Maybe we should just love him.
Do I give you a 2-week notice, or can I just quit right now?
No, you have.
I have more information, and Reavers, you can look this up. We can get this audio on the air. Go to Twitter. I know you're not allowed, but look up on Twitter, Minnesota House GOP War Room. There's a 60-second cut, and Joe, she is referring to politicians.
Yeah, and I'm willing to indict them now. I'm
Right,
at
but when she said we don't have history or blah blah blah, she is referring specifically to politicians.
and she would
committing
be
fraud.
correct because. Go ahead.
Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Not that it could never happen, of course, that we could have fraud within government, but that has not characterized Minnesota. I mean, we have, some other states you look at, there have been governors who've gone to prison, for example, after their terms. That has never happened in Minnesota. We just don't really hear in Minnesota of any corruption within government. We have really good public servants here who try very hard to do their jobs the right way. And I've never really heard anybody dispute that, but it seems like this bill is more focused on inside the agencies. And could you just explain how this bill is attempting to prevent fraud? And please explain why that has to happen from within the legislature and not within the executive branch, because I think there are different ways we could be looking at this.
Well, I'd like to take a shot at answering her. Perhaps Walls will be arrested when he's done with serving. But why, Tina, does it have to come within the agencies? Because that's where the fraud foments. That's where it is. That's where it begins. That's where the money is distributed. And the agencies have shown no capability of plugging those leaks in their dikes. They've never been able to stop the leak of money. It comes from the agencies, Tina. As again, given your background, how can you possibly be that stupid to not know that? Where do you think the fraud is coming from?
I would have loved to hear the rest of that and the explanation. That's a really interesting conversation.
And the Democrats continue to oppose any of these bills that would bring about reform in the agencies.
Right.
Tina, the Department of Education testified before the Fraud Committee and pleaded the fifth. They pleaded the fifth because the fraudulent behavior is within their ranks. It's under their purview. It didn't come from outside. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's coming from within the agencies. Now,
well, because Kenny, I know that it's a different. When you introduced the audio, and I'm glad you did, it does give a better lens. But even what she said isn't true.
What Joe had a great point there, but I thought it was worth clarifying.
100%, yeah.
Well, here's something that is a great site. It's the Minnesota House GOP War Room. And you get their daily intramural musings about what the hell's going on. It's a worthy site. And I noticed on that site today that there are Republican lawmakers who want to craft a bill to prevent Minnesota from giving money to nonprofits. I couldn't be more happy with that type of bill. That's exactly what needs to happen because that's where the fraud is. The fraud is in the agencies giving money to nonprofits who themselves have proven to be fraudulent. And the fraudulent part on the part of the agencies is they've done no vetting. So your hard-earned tax dollars are distributed incompetently by the Minnesota agencies to groups of people who have proven to use it fraudulently. And then the Democrats would oppose this bill, of course, but that would prevent them. That would prevent them from their racketeering.
So buying an island in another country,
right?
That's against what you're saying,
right? They take the money to buy an island in another country, and we don't want to. The move comes as Republicans highlight the fraud schemes that have plagued Minnesota state government. The nascent House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee is discussing ways state agencies are failing to adequately oversee grants for nonprofits. Stop giving. The government is impossibly big. You're giving away enough money. You don't need to continue to give away our money to nonprofits who are stealing it almost uniformly. Whether it's daycare, autism treatment, food, whatever. Yes, John?
You mean take money away from all nonprofits? Is that what you're saying?
No, don't give money to nonprofits.
To any nonprofits.
Well,
I'm not going to agree with you on that.
yeah,
Sorry.
of course you wouldn't, but and you're
Well,
right. You're
I mean,
right. There are
for the record, I don't
nonprofits.
either.
There are credible nonprofits.
Right, there are, absolutely.
Is that what you're waiting for me to say?
That's what we both
Of
want.
course, there are credible
I may have
nonprofits.
family members that work for one that,
Yes.
that gets money from the government.
There are
so.
credible nonprofits, but
Yeah.
You want a more thorough vetting
but the
process.
brunt
Yes,
of
there
the
you go.
money has
Perfect.
gone to non-credible nonprofits.
Yeah, and I'm outraged by the lack of their outrage.
They don't. The Democrats have no outrage.
How can you be accused of something like this and not want to fight and clear your name and fix this so it never happens again?
Because you're guilty. Guilty.
That's the perception, Chris. And you know how we are.
Right.
We're dumb. Perception is reality.
I wish we could use Bradshaw and Bryant to fight them, but I mean they're a car crash. This whole legislature is a car crash,
Right.
But not the kind that Bradshaw and Bryant deal with. They are personal injury attorneys. I am like many people. I probably would not to know exactly what to do in the instant of an accident, God forbid. But I would need the likes of Bradshaw and Bryant to deal with the insurance company and the adjusters. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant has a team. They're there to explain your rights, represent you, and help you in a tough time. They've got a wonderful past performance chart. A lot of people say track record, but they're wrong when they say track record, because track record is exactly that, a specific record established on a track. What most people intend to say when they say track record is past performance chart.
Ah.
They have a wonderful past performance chart. For 6 years, Mike has been recognized as a super lawyer, and he's been named among Minnesota's top 40 personal injury attorneys by Minnesota Law and Politics. They are now our GL go-to personal injury attorneys. Yeah, I hope you're never in an accident, and so do they. But if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant, 800-770-7008, or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed, and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, Johnny!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, I don't have my sounder thing.
I gotcha.
Reality with a bite. The Joe Soucheray Show. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, Chris.
Some more information from the food fraud trial here in the state where there is no corruption. I know what she meant. She's trying to say that we don't have Rudy Perpich or the late Rudy Perpich in jail or even Walls. I get that. But, lady, you know, John looked up your father, Jerome Liebling. Apparently, he was very, very respected in the world of photography, and Ken Burns even calls him his mentor in documentary filmmaking. He must have been. See, Tina, you've been exposed to too much to be this stupid. You've been exposed to a great world, I would imagine, just through your father, not to mention your own achievements in schooling and what have you. You really got to get your act together. Some more tidbits from the Feeding Our Future trial. Special Agent Joshua Parks spoke about how he analyzed attendance rosters. That food distribution sites submitted to support their meal count claims. I found very low percentages of rosters that actually represented real people, he said. In several instances, a child would show up on one page as one age on a roster and then show up with the exact same name but a different age a month later.
Wow.
You see, they were eating so well that they grew abnormally fast.
Or were they doing what the people that used to come to Rookie's house? They'd show up in different Halloween masks and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Investigators found that a roster for ASA Limited, one of the fraud entities, an entity associated with Saeed, was created on a spreadsheet. The age column of the spreadsheet was found to have a formula in it to randomly generate an age between 7 and 17. Parks testified further about the fake names, even calling some of them absurd. One of the names was Pewdify Knopp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, Pewdify. He appeared several times in a roster for the South Cross distribution site in Burnsville. On one page, he was listed as being 8, but then Pewdify Pop appeared on the next page as a 16-year-old. Another name that was used several times was Cereso Fort, who was listed as receiving meals from Stigma-Free Mankato. The only problem? Cereso Fort owns Sir Boxing Club, which was at one point listed as another distribution site.
Kids can go eat at the club.
I take it he is not a 7-year-old child. Assistant U.S. Attorney Matthew Ebert asked Parks about Fort. No, he is not, Parks said. Fort took the stand earlier in the day, testifying that he didn't even know his business was listed as a food site. Wow. Jurors were shown site applications with the name Sir Boxing Club on them, documents that he didn't even recognize. But meal count forms for that site in that location, Feeding Our Future Arcade, claimed to be feeding children daily. Ford called the numbers outrageous. He said, that math ain't nothing. No, he said, that math ain't mathing. Well, Fort testified that he saw kids picking up boxes of food on Saturdays. It wasn't in his building, and it wasn't as many as meals as were claimed. He added that he knew Amy Bach from the few times she would pick up her boyfriend from the gym, but added she never asked him for permission to turn his business into a food distribution site. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Here's a guy named Jamie Phelps, a mechanic for the city of Eagan, was listed as being Feeding Our Future's board treasurer. A title he said he had no idea he held.
I didn't know I could drive a bus.
Wow.
Phelps told jurors he met Bach at a bonfire at his neighbor's house and said he'd be a board member after she expressed needing them for Feeding Our Future. But he said Bach never brought it up again. When asked if he thought he would be well suited to be a board treasurer for a large organization, Phelps said, I would be a fish out of water. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'd be my last choice.
Jeez Louise, I wouldn't join any club that would have me. Jurors were shown documents listing him as the board treasurer, including meeting minutes, training quizzes, and emails stating he volunteered to up to 5 hours per week, all of which he says is false. His name was even signed on forms that he had never seen before. Oh, this is just oh my God, this is too good to be true. What does this one say? We got to follow this every day for the theater. What's this one? No, it's the same thing. Mechanic testifies he had no idea he was a board member. Thank God he was an honest mechanic, huh?
Right.
What else do we have? That the last piece I had was a Channel 5 piece. This is a Fox 9 piece, and this just merely goes over the testimony of this mechanic who was shocked to discover he was the treasurer of this outfit, and then also all the names that don't match. In one example, 2,000 names submitted as receiving meals at a St. Cloud meal site. Only 116 were real. The rest came from a name generation website. These were
used AI.
These were meal sites run by Salim Saeed, who was on trial with Bach. He claimed millions of dollars for meals served at his Safari restaurant, along with a number of other sites across the state, operating under a nonprofit called Stigma Free LLC. And I love when Walz, in his seeking campaign money, loves to always tout as one of the great achievements of Minnesota the fact that we're feeding our children.
He tweets it out constantly. I'm thinking, Tim, read the room, bro.
There's not a chance in hell a kid should go hungry in this state based on the number of opportunities there is to feed people. There's just not a chance in hell, and I don't want any child to be hungry.
Of course not.
And there's just not a chance in hell that any child in this state could possibly be hungry. It would be impossible.
Not possible.
The line that will always stick with me with the fraud is the line that Coles got out of the one gal. They hear at night.
They hear at night.
That's all I kept thinking about.
Big Escalade rolls into the parking lot. The tinted windows roll down. Jay says, "There's nobody here." They hear at night.
They hear at night.
Yeah. Okay. I think Jay went back, and they weren't there at night.
I don't think they were.
When the office asked us at the beginning of summer for T-shirt ideas for the Garage Logic State Fair booth,
yeah,
I'm going to say the math ain't mathin' because that fits us perfectly.
That is brilliant, Johnny Height.
The
With
math
no
ain't
G.
mathing.
It's got to be MATHIN. Mathin.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then I'd like a T-shirt that says, "They're here at night."
Right. Rookie hasn't seen your new whistle yet.
Oh, take one of these, Rook. We're going to do an experiment. These are the neighborhood safety.
Oh, okay.
Here it is.
The ones that we're talking about?
Try to threaten me.
Hey, give me your wallet. Okay. The Titanic whistle was louder than that in downtown St. Paul.
Take this. Oh, go out in the hall, seriously.
I feel like Captain Von Trapp.
Go out in the hall. It's never been used. Bert brought these over. Go out in the hall,
or the
and
whistle?
give that a toot to see if it's loud enough to inspire a public response to help you fight away a gang of.
Okay, I can hear that a little
I
bit.
would not leave my spot for that.
No.
Nope, I'm not leaving for that. Go out in the hall. Nope.
Go get lunch.
That sounds like a bird. I'm not leaving for a bird. Out in the hall.
Okay, doors shut. All right, I can hear it a little bit.
I can hear it, but it doesn't suggest to me an urgency.
Oh, God, now he thinks he's in a marching band.
You know what it sounds? It sounds too fun.
Doodle dandy.
It sounds too joyful to say somebody's getting beat up. You hear this? Nobody's thinking you're getting beat up.
Wow, you must be getting beat up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let me hear the whistle again.
Can you do Yankee Doodle Dandy with that whistle?
Oh, my God. Kenny, I'm so mad at you right now.
All right, we're done. We're done with the whistle.
I think we've only just begun.
No.
Finish, Rook. Come on.
No, we won't do it anymore. We won't.
Verse 2.
Oh, I had something new to tell you about Ecofun.
You know what I like to use, Joe, to warn off the potential attackers?
What's that, Kenny?
Here, go ahead. It's called a Glock 40 cal.
That's louder than the whistle, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's a lot louder than the whistle.
Just a nice little piece he happens to have on hand. You know, you don't bring a whistle to a Glock fight.
Right.
Yeah, good idea.
Say Ecofun, it's spring, man, and get ready to ride. In. They even got a helmet blowout sale because you need the helmets for the stuff they sell, and they're great helmet brands: Alpine Stars, HCI, LS2. Prices start at just $50. Don't miss out. Did you store your unit with Ecofun this winter?
Hello.
Call them and schedule your pickup because pickups begin on Tuesday, April 15th. Looking at ways to save money on new toys? Look no further. Ecofun Motorsports has you covered with great sales, especially on this new intense off-road mountain electric bike. These are MSRP at $5,500. Tim buys a lot of stuff when he gets stuff. Mm-hmm. He's got them at $26.99. I'm looking at a picture of one. That will get you over some rough terrain. That is really cool. They also have something called a Highboy electric scooter, $299, like the kind you rent going around town. Oh. But these are better. Got it. In fact, I could do my errands on one of these and get rid of my gas scooter if I cared about our Mother the Earth. Mm-hmm. But I prefer my scooter that Tim is storing for me over the winter. It's Ecofun Motorsports. It's in Forest Lake, right on Highway 97, immediately west of 35 with a great parking lot. Don't leave until you've test ridden your electric bike. And down on Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42, ecofunmotorsports.com.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Soucheray Show.
North American Banking Company, the official bank here in Garage Logic, and they have converted me. I was tired of being a number with my big national bank. And here's the deal. They have 6 Twin Cities locations to take care of you. It's Roseville and 50th in France for yours truly, but you can also see them in Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. Joe, Kenny, I got a message from Mr. Bilski yesterday. Hold on. Please hold. Please hold. And he said, no need to apologize. Catching up on the podcast. I can help any one of those guys. You don't need a location nearby. Happy to help out whenever. If they want to reach out, please let them know. So there you go.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
North American Banking Company offers all of the services as the other big national banks, whether you're looking to buy a home, finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about. They will be able to help you out. And they offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. Locally owned and operated, which means loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not sent out of state. So this helps you business owners solve problems quickly and expand your business with confidence. So your first step is checking them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Here is Mr. John Haidt.
Thank you, Joe. Our news is brought to you. We just heard from Chris about this fine company, and I love the fact that they sponsor my news. News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Minneapolis City Council this morning overrode Mayor Jacob Fry's veto of a legislative directive to further explore converting George Floyd Square into a pedestrian mall. A 9-4 supermajority kept the possibility of a pedestrian mall alive, despite the mayor urging council members to finalize a plan, avoid further delays, and move ahead. An idea to cut off traffic on Chicago Avenue at 38th Street got little support from neighbors during the community feedback stage, but council members don't think the proposal was fully fleshed out. A state law also prevents a pedestrian plaza from being built if more than half of the neighboring property owners object to the plan. Council members also today will be briefed on the status of the U.S. Justice Department settlement with the city and the Minneapolis Police Department. Federal investigation that began after Floyd's murder found the city's police department engaged in a pattern of racist and abusive behavior. St. Paul School District sent a memo to its employees earlier this month laying out protocol with their legal rights if an agent with Immigration and Customs Enforcement visits a school building or properties. This comes after President Trump initiated the crackdown on illegal immigration and rescinded the so-called sensitive zones policy, which protected immigrants in places like churches and schools. The St. Paul School Board last week approved a resolution supporting the memo and the district's plan. Board member Yosef Carrillo thanked the board for a unanimous vote of support for the resolution. The memo basically says, be polite, don't resist, don't obstruct, and you do not have to let federal authorities into your building unless you want to or with a warrant. St. Paul Schools said there have been no visits to St. Paul.
Not wanted.
St. Paul Schools says there have been no visits to the St. Paul School properties in the past 9 years from any federal law enforcement agency. Wolf attacks on livestock climbed to a new high in Minnesota as ranchers reported losing more calves, cows, and other animals to the predators in 2024 than any other year since the records began back in the 1980s. Ranchers made 252 claims of wolves killing livestock last year. That compares to the 10-year average of 174 claims a year, according to data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The losses, as usual, were primarily young calves. Wisconsin saw high numbers of complaints as well. Minnesota's wolf population, estimated at 2,900, remained relatively unchanged last year. Wolf numbers here have hovered between 3,200 and 2,200 since the late 1990s. The extremely warm winter in early 2024 likely increased the pressure on cattle from wolves, according to Dakota Bird, a district manager and biologist for the USDA's Wildlife Services.
What's the long-legged bird that I'm thinking of? Not
Ostrich?
Big bird.
No, not stork, or was it egret?
An egret has
Egret, yeah, they have.
Or egret, okay.
Egret has long.
I saw a video. Let's call her an egret. Long, thin-legged bird.
Yep.
And a fish was struggling in shallow water. The bird picked up the fish in its beak and took it out to deeper water and released it.
Wow.
No, it didn't.
Honest to
That's
God.
like an egret version
Honest
of
to
you
God.
with birds.
That was AI.
No, it was real. I know real birds.
It probably just fell and the egret was swearing after.
No,
it got back in the
the
water.
animals help each other.
No. My Uncle Al calls those birds, we call them shorebirds. That's the church name for them. My Uncle Al calls them shitbirds. That's what they are.
That's not the church name.
What was a shorebird?
Back to that wolf story, the reason we're having problems with the wolves is 100% politics. It's the left and the self-righteous animal groups have bought off or found a sympathetic judge way out on the East Coast that still considers wolves an endangered species in this state. This is one case where you cannot blame the Minnesota DNR. The Minnesota DNR is on the side of hunters, trappers, and ranchers.
In other words, we got plenty of wolves.
We got a lot of wolves. Yeah.
Well, and farmers are basically left to fend for themselves.
Well, they're
right?
taking, as they will, folks out in the country will take care of things, themselves quietly.
Right.
The problem is a lot of these wolves have trackers on them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why are they? Oh, they're tracking to just try to control the population?
Yeah, to see where they go and where they travel, et cetera, et cetera.
Disney World.
So what they should do is keep the tracker on them, cape them out, and just have the robotic wolf. I'm just walking by this farm.
That seems like a logical idea.
Or put it in the back of somebody's pickup.
Yeah, he's going to Santa Fe.
Damn, he's at Casey's again.
Yeah.
The guy that has the Biden sticker on the back of his electric car.
My Uncle Frank, Kenny, to go back to your story about the birds.
Yeah.
My Uncle Frank, when I was about 10, would constantly walk up to me and say, "Hey, you know what kind of bird doesn't fly?" And of course, me being 10, I'd go, "What?" And he'd answer, "Your answer."
Oh.
Yeah.
All I know is this bird helped a fish live
No.
You saw it on
did
to
Twitter.
enjoy another day.
Catch it on Twitter.
It didn't,
Possibly.
didn't happen.
The frustrating delays with Minnesota's new cannabis industry have resulted in hundreds of would-be entrepreneurs getting out of the business even before it gets off the ground. New data obtained by our friends at 5 Investigate shows that more than 400 people requested refunds of their application fees from the state after it called off the pre-approval license lottery late last year. Those refunded fees totaled more than $1.5 million. Last November, a judge told the Office of Cannabis Management, or the OCM, to pause its planned license lottery for applicants approved in the early social equity round. Weeks later, the agency scrapped the lottery altogether. Although the state initially said application fees would be non-refundable, the agency reversed course after the fumbled rollout. Josh Collins, a spokesperson for OCM, he said the decision whether to start a new business is complicated and something that requires careful consideration and preparation by the individuals involved. Well, last week, the agency started collecting apps for its general licensing round, meaning anyone who did not qualify for social equity. OCM reports it received 56 license applications in the first 3 days, in addition to the highly publicized lawsuits against the OCM last year. 5 Investigates discovered another lawsuit filed just weeks ago from a group of applicants that had already invested tens of thousands of dollars in equipment and retail space that are fuming over the canceled lottery.
Boy, there are certain neighborhoods where I always smell the dope.
The dope.
Oh my God, the reefer is just
Yeah,
it's a
the dope.
stench.
The reefer.
Yeah.
This is, we've said it a million times. This is the case where the Democrats rushed something through before the state was ready for it. So that's why we're seeing this. What's happening out there is everybody's growing their own now, and they're growing so damn much weed that they're giving it away for free, which is completely going to undercut any businesses that try to open.
A lot of dope out there.
Not all of us are giving it away for free.
Yeah.
I ain't doing any freebies.
No, you never would.
I charge.
Yeah.
I want cash.
Yes, you do.
Why don't we take a quick break here? We'll come back with national and international news.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Soucheray.
Lisa Perez, are you listening? We didn't announce a GLer of the week last week because we were too wrapped up at the golf show.
Talking to Johnny Randall.
So let's take a moment now to salute you, Lisa. Lisa Perez of Lina Lakes, Town Council Member number 652. That sounds a bit German to start naming them, numbering them. That makes me nervous. You are number 652.
Don't you do that with the shows?
Yes, I do. Never mind. I think numbering them is a good idea.
Down.
You are last week's GLer of the week, Lisa. It's brought to you by Masters Maples. So along with our warmest personal regards, you're going to get a $50 gift box from Masters Maples. Winners are sending in pictures of their haul already. Listen every Friday as I salute one town council member each. That means we get a new one tomorrow.
That's right.
Right? This is last week. We'll do this throughout 2025 for GLer of the week. You can make sure your annual membership is active by this Friday night to be eligible for the drawings in March. Thanks, Lisa, and all of you town council members for your support of Garage Logic. Johnny Height.
In other news, update on a story we had yesterday. I said it's probably going to change, and it certainly looks like it has. That U.S.-Ukraine agreement on mineral rights. Well, President Trump basically said they had an agreement, and Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky would be in Washington to sign it Friday, and sources said Ukraine had agreed to it. Well, Zelensky says it wasn't a done deal. The president apparently jumping the gun a bit on the announcement. The Ukraine president said yesterday the agreement still does not include any U.S. security guarantees, which his country sees as vital to any agreement. Zelensky said Ukraine still needs to know where the U.S. stands on continued military support. The president, Trump, was non-committal on any security agreements and also added that Ukraine would not be allowed to join NATO. So with Zelensky coming to Washington this week, it's expected high-level talks will take place where they'll try to work something out. President Trump says he plans to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting Tuesday, in addition to doubling the 10% universal tariff charged on imports from China. Posting on Truth Social this morning, the president said that illicit drugs like fentanyl are being smuggled into the U.S. at what he called unacceptable levels and that import taxes would force other countries to crack down on the trafficking. The president reiterating his ambitions yesterday to abolish the Department of Education in a cabinet meeting, saying, quote, "We want to move education back to the states where it belongs." And while the White House has already said it's preparing an executive order to eliminate the agency, details of how that would work remain unclear, leaving state lawmakers and education officials from both parties confused about the logistics that come with ending or curtailing the department.
John, do you have in your newscast the actions Trump has taken to forbid certain media outlets from the White House correspondence?
I had that yesterday, but I didn't get to it, so no, I don't.
I'm firmly opposed to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would say, unfortunately, how is that different from Walz refusing to talk to anybody he disagrees with?
Well, this happened under the Biden administration, too.
As far back as Obama.
Walz only will go on NPR and whoever is the morning host at the time on CCO. That's it. He will not talk to anybody who disagrees with him. He will not talk to us. And by now, of course, we've burned so many bridges that I don't blame him for not talking to us because I don't intend to be kind.
How about we say, what's your favorite muffin?
But it's not. Yeah, if we asked him where he gets his favorite muffins, he would agree to talk with us. But so I abhor what Trump is doing. But again, unfortunately, how is that different from what Walz does?
Right.
Well, it's not any different from what previous presidents have done.
Well, point of reference, that's not true, Kenny. It was never the administrations that would not allow them in.
Well, who was it then?
It was the other reporters, and there's a panel of reporters that chooses.
That creates the pool.
Correct. For each thing that happens, say every press conference that the president has or whatever.
Wait a minute, explain that, John.
There's representatives of the New York Times, Associated Press, KSTP, whatever, it's a nonpartisan group that chooses who goes to each one. If there's a problem, if they can't fit everybody in.
Right.
It's not the administration doesn't go, you can't come to this one, and you can. Well, they do now, but they didn't before.
Well, see, but the trouble there, inherent in that, is that there is no nonpartisan news gatherers.
True.
For the most part, they are not nonpartisan.
I'd agree to an extent.
Yep.
To an extent.
Well, okay, because I remember us talking about this, and I just Googled this quickly, Johnny. Mm-hmm. And Yahoo has an article, I'm going to guess in reaction to what Trump did, that Biden also changed White House press pool.
What's it say? I mean,
it's loading. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. This is from Yahoo News. It's actually a Fox News piece. Flashback. Biden also changed White House press pool, cutting off more than 440 reporters' credentials. And this is yesterday's Dateline. Because I remember this happening and us talking about this on the show.
Does it say whose credentials they got rid of?
Let me read through this.
I'm
and
guessing
I'll come
probably
back to
websites, that sort of thing.
Credentialed White House press members dropped from 1,417 to 975 after the White House unveiled new standards requiring an annual renewal of hard passes. So I don't know who was singled out and who wasn't.
Oh.
All I know is Walls is doing the same thing, okay?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't happen with
it shouldn't happen at
with
all.
anybody.
No.
So
didn't Governor Ventura do the same thing, or am I misremembering?
No, I'm going to
things?
defend Jesse. He would tell you that he hated the press. He'd just soon run over him with his car, but he'd talk to anybody.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Media jackals.
Yeah,
maybe.
they're jackals.
Media jackals.
Yeah, that's just the best phrase ever.
We used that as a band name briefly.
The Jackals? The Media Jackals.
It was a band we put together, and all of us except one person was involved in the media. So we called ourselves the Media Jackals.
It's a great
should have
name.
been mostly Media Jackals.
Yeah.
Mostly. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said she expects to release, quote, a lot of flight logs and a lot of names related to the late financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein today. During an interview with Fox News, Bondi said she hopes to release some Epstein information today, including the logs and names. Metropolitan Bondi, who was sworn in as third female U.S. Attorney General earlier this month, previously mentioned info related to Epstein during an interview with Fox News last week. She said Epstein documents were sitting on her desk at that time per a directive ordered by President Trump. In 2019, New York prosecutors charged Epstein with sex trafficking related to incidents in Palm Beach, Florida, and New York. That came after nearly 14 years of investigations, arrests, and jail time related to various sex offense crimes. Just a month after his 2019 arrest, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. U.S. Attorney General's office did not immediately respond to clarification about the files when contacted this morning.
I will say this, too, about Trump. I mean, he's far more open with the press than Biden was. He'll just shoot the breeze with anybody that shows up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog found dead in their New Mexico home, authorities said this morning. Foul play not suspected, but authorities wouldn't release circumstances of their deaths, said the investigation is ongoing. Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth Jean Hackman, said the family believes carbon monoxide poisoning may have caused the deaths. Gene Hackman was 95. His wife, Betsy Arakawa, was 63. The dog were there. They were all dead when deputies entered their home to check on their welfare around 1:45 yesterday afternoon. The gruff but beloved Hackman was among the finest actors of his generation, appearing as villains, heroes, and anti-heroes in dozens of films. He was a 5-time Oscar nominee who won for The French Connection in 1972 and Unforgiven 2 decades later. Hackman met Arakawa, a classically trained pianist who grew up in Hawaii in the mid-'80s. They soon moved in together, ended up living in Santa Fe. Yes, Kenny?
I'm waiting till you're done. I'm trying to get Such's attention.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Hackman co-wrote 3 novels, too, besides his acting, starting with The Swashbuckler Wake of the Perdido Star with Daniel Lenihan in 1999. He then penned 2 by himself. In his first couple of decades in New Mexico, he was often seen around the capital city, famous as an enclave for artists, a destination for tourists, and a retreat for celebrities. In recent years, far less visible, even though the most mundane outings caught the attention of the press, according to local newspapers. Aside from appearances at award shows, he was rarely seen in Hollywood, in the social circuit, and retired from acting about 20 years ago. He was the rare Hollywood retirement that actually lasted. Hackman also had 3 children from a previous marriage. Hackman told the film magazine Empire in 2020 that he and Arakawa like to watch DVDs she rented. We like to sit at the house, watch simple stories that some of the little low-budget films manage to produce.
So the BBC has an update on the story and the causes of death. The police detectives, said that Mrs. Arakawa's was suffering from decomposition and mummification in the hands and feet. So she had been dead for a while. The male also showed obvious signs of death, similar and consistent with the gal. At her head was a portable heater, which the detective determined could have been brought down in the event that that woman had abruptly fell to the ground. Continuing, a prescription bottle and scattered pills were on the bathroom countertop close to her body. The couple's German Shepherd dog was found in a bathroom closet near to her. So
if they came in, carbon monoxide, if they're saying that was the case, wouldn't that be ruled out right away or be ruled in?
It was, in fact, ruled out. But again,
okay,
like we always do, we have to wait, 48 hours?
I'll take carbon monoxide at 95.
Yeah, but when the I see what you're saying, yeah.
Isn't it dioxide?
Whatever.
But that's been ruled out from what I'm hearing and seeing here, Joe.
No, carbon monoxide.
It'd be monoxide.
Dioxide is what we breathe.
Yeah. I got to have dioxide.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been ruled out.
Okay, I don't.
That's really weird. Then
they live in an area near our friend John Camp, who writes as John Sanford. Yeah.
Great actor. We talked
John
about
Camp?
him off air. No, off air. Hackman. And did you ever see a role he wasn't good in?
No, I
didn't
not.
like him in. No.
When he studied at the Pasadena Playhouse, they said he studied with Dustin Hoffman and him, and they were both voted least likely to succeed.
Well, that shows you what the voters do.
Right.
The way they humanized him in The Unforgiven, where he's just this awful, evil sheriff, but yet he's building his own house and he's the worst carpenter in the whole wide world. It really played with your emotions watching that film. Very well written.
Was that a Clint Eastwood deal?
Yeah. I think that was Clint's movie, was it not, John?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clint was the star, director, writer, everything.
Yeah.
Update to a story we had last week. Joe, you'll like this one, I think. A Mississippi judge vacated that order that a newspaper remove its editorial criticizing local officials days after the city decided to drop the lawsuit that spurred it. The judge's order had been widely condemned, including right here on this show by Joe, by free speech advocates as a clear violation of the paper's First Amendment rights. Chancery Judge Crystal Wise Martin had issued the restraining order against the Clarksdale Press Register last week, telling it to remove from its website a February 8 editorial titled Secrecy, Deception, Erode Public Trust. The piece criticized the city for not sending the newspaper notice about a meeting the board had held regarding a proposed tax on alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco. The Board of Commissioners dropped the suit Monday at the request of Mayor Chuck Espy, who cited an offer from the paper's owners to run a clarification. However, Emmerich Newspaper's president, Wyatt Emmerich, said he had made that offer before the city filed its lawsuit and that it was no longer on the table. The order drew widespread criticism from press groups, free speech advocates around the country, including the National Press Club and the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press. Restaurant business news, Roark Capital, the private equity firm that owns Inspire Brands, GoTo Foods, and Subway, allegedly is in advanced talks to acquire Dave's Hot Chicken for about $1 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. The acquisition of the 270-unit Pasadena, California-based fried chicken chain could be announced soon, assuming the deal doesn't hit any bumps in the road. Rumors of the potential sale of the quickly growing fast casual restaurant chain began earlier this month with a report from Reuters that said Dave's was working with North Point to look for a potential buyer. Dave's Hot Chicken, which was founded as a pop-up concept in 2017, has ballooned over the past 8 years.
Wait a minute, that company's only 8 years old?
That's correct, sir.
Are they here?
There's one right by my house,
Yes.
actually.
I was going to say, I know I've had
Dave's Hot Chicken replaced Dairy Queen on Ford Parkway, across from the library.
All right.
Dave's has been way outperforming the rest of the trendy chicken segment, sales pacing at least 3 times ahead of other segment competitors like Wingstop and Raising Cane's.
There's 4 locations here in Minnesota.
People are doing too much with chicken. Leave the damn chicken alone.
No. Dave's Hot Chicken is
Dave's Hot
fantastic.
Chicken. I got your Dave's Hot
Let me
Chicken.
ask you a question.
Here we go.
Dave's Hot Chicken, that name doesn't entice you, does it?
Nope.
You want something a little bigger, maybe.
I don't know, man.
Like
I just,
Chicken
Matthew?
Planet. You know, Chicken Planet.
Planet.
Or Steak
Matthew.
Planet. It's dry-aged steak that's on another planet that they ship in over here, and you just go to Steak Planet.
no, I just think too many people try to do too much with chicken.
Oh, yeah, because clearly this backfired. The dude's about to make a bill in 8 years.
Guys, here's what we should do.
Go,
The way
Kenny.
John doesn't want to talk to us about music, we shouldn't talk to Joe about food.
Oh, good
Seriously.
point.
He just has
that's a good
no
point.
idea. He's
He
the
really doesn't.
worst.
He has 4 places that he'll go to eat
I'm not the worst.
in the Twin
Yeah,
Cities.
you're
There's
the
only
worst.
4 places
That's
that he'll
it.
go.
The rest don't exist.
Those
How
are
many-
4 in his rotation.
How many topics now do we have where we just cannot deal with Joe?
We got music,
Yep.
food.
Movies, comedy,
Listeners say Trump.
yeah, politics.
Joe, it's come to my attention when we talk about food, you think food's only good for one thing, and that's to keep you alive. You don't care about taste. You don't care about.
Well, that's a
nothing.
ridiculous statement. Of course I care about
Do you
taste.
guys agree
It
with
doesn't
me?
seem like it.
Yeah, see?
Well, but I will defend you in this regard. You probably
you.
go out to eat more than all of us.
all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
And I go to more than 4 places. Okay?
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I could name them off, but I won't.
I know, but I go to more than 4 places.
Whose idea is it to go out? Do you turn to the bride and say, "Let's go
What I
out"?
do instead of cook. Okay.
You know what? Remember, and this will give you a clue as to he goes to more than 4 restaurants. When I sent him to Hong Sen on Grand Avenue, he went to Pad Thai. He just saw international Asian. He waited for 20 minutes at Pad Thai, and they're like,
Didn't I call you?
"Yes." You're like, "What is it?" And I'm like,
Was I like that?
"Yeah." I said, "You're in the restaurant with the red restaurant on the corner, right?" "Yeah, across from the school." So you're supposed to be across the street, 4 houses down next to Miller Orthodontics or
Is that
whatever.
where I
Joe,
got the
did-
egg rolls?
Joe, just
Yes.
stop at the first Chinese restaurant.
That's what I did. They're all the same.
I do need to get you to go to MK Viet. You have
Yeah.
to go there, and not to go. Go see Gabe and Meadow at MK Viet.
No, but I want to take it to out.
Eat it there.
Take
It's
it to
better.
out.
I want to
Like
take it to-
Lawrence
what are you,
Welk would take
Luigi?
it to out.
Hey,
And the
Luigi.
one, and the 2.
Thanks, Johnny.
I'm gonna try to
I don't,
take
what,
it
you
to
think
out.
they have a Dave's Hot Chicken in Sioux Falls?
I bet they
Because
would.
it's a food town. Among
looking
its
it up
other,
right now.
it's among its other attractions is that it's a foodie town. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I'm making that up.
Those
but
guys
it
started
might
with
be.
$900, and they were 4 childhood friends.
Who?
Dave's Hot Chicken.
The food people?
Did you know that Minnesota basketball star Chris Humphries owns, I think, 2 or 3 franchises here in the Twin Cities?
Yep, I'm getting an email from
Aside
Mark
from
saying
his
that
5
exact same
guys?
thing.
Yep.
Well, all I know is that Sioux Falls is the answer if you're going to start a new business, expand your business, or relocate. Sioux Falls is, I don't have the copy. Where in the hell is it? SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. Well, I know it by heart by now. Look, you're going to a greater tax environment. No corporate tax, no estate tax.
Did I tell you about the guy I ran into the other night? He and his wife are they're empty nesters now. Their youngest just went off to college, or is off to college this coming fall. They're going to buy a spot in Sioux Falls, and they wanted me to say thank you to Joe.
Well, here it is. No state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, no limits to what your business can achieve, and wide open, welcoming arms to entrepreneurs. I don't care what our dear leader says here. South Dakota sounds like the state to do business in, and Sioux Falls is growing with a population of now more than 290,000 people with a great, ready, and willing workforce, and a great growing town, and a great town for families. You can look all this up. You can look all this up for yourself. 50 best places to live for families included in Fortune magazine. You can find out everything you need to know on Sioux Falls Development. That's one word, SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
'82, I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, Johnny!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, yeah!
He did the guitar face.
Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time than this year as I sing this song. And I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. Oh, a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see everybody 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Soucheray.
Hey, fastphotofilm.com. Go on their website right now. And you know what? I think I shared this the other day, but if in case I didn't, I want to thank Glenn for placing his order. He's going to order his family a puzzle online at fastphotofilm.com. Yes, they can take your family photo and create a puzzle out of it. They have a lot of cool gift ideas on their website, so check it out today. Photo is spelled with an F, by the way. You can bring into their lab, if you want like an art print for your wall, they can take a family photo and make a professional art print, and they can print on all kinds of media, fine art paper, canvas, and even metal prints. And hurry in, because they have a sale that's going on right now through the end of March. And if you mention Garage Logic, you are going to receive a custom gift just for you. It's your old-time photo film processing lab, and guess what? If you want to get that box of old photos in and have them digitized for generations to enjoy, well, these are your folks at Fast Photo Film, and they can do all sorts of stuff, whether it's film processing, photo scanning, photo restoration, and custom greeting cards for any occasion. They'll be able to help you out. So once again, check out their website today. It's fastphotofilm.com. Photo is spelled with an F. And please make sure that you mention that you heard about them right here on the Garage Logic podcast, Joe.
I'd like to revisit something that John had in his news because it's hard to figure out what the out over their skis Minneapolis City Council is up to. They vetoed the Fry plan for George Floyd Square. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
The Minneapolis City Council held its coalition together and voted 9-4 today to override Fry's recent veto of the City Council plan to create a pedestrian mall at George Floyd Square. Okay. So after 5 years, they still have nothing done there. It sounds like this will be considerably more time before anything is done. But Fry put the kibosh on a pedestrian mall because that's not what the residents around there wanted. The residents, who you'd think should have a say in some things, right? They're only paying the bills for these idiots on the council. The residents said, can we just get going here and open the damn street? Let's go here. And the city council said, no, you don't know this well like we do. So the city council vetoed their willingness to get going here. They vetoed that to what, John? To continue insisting that the pedestrian mall is the way to go.
Correct. That's what they want. That's the way they want to go.
Okay. Koski, Emily Koski is a council member. She changed her vote to help override Fry, whom she's running against for mayor in November. Koski released a statement saying Fry failed to work with the council on a compromise.
Wow.
And she said Floyd's family called on her to override the veto. So Floyd's family must want a pedestrian mall. They think that might be more honorable than a resumption of normal life. So I'm going to stop trying to figure it out because I don't care what they do with the. It's already anticlimactic whatever they do. It's taken them too long now. A little roundabout there in the intersection, which they've already got because of a sculpture of a fist in the intersection. Let the rest of it develop organically and let the cars flow again. That's all not going to happen because the council knows how to do this. So good luck to them. Good luck to them.
It's like watching a Jerry Springer fight.
It's just
back
amazing.
and enjoy it.
It's not even only because they come to us. Boy, we're nearing the end here because I believe the traveling linemen's hit the road March 1.
Okay.
That would be Saturday, correct?
Yes, Saturday.
Isn't that something? Feb just came and went, didn't it?
28 quick days is like boom, 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 boom.
Thank you.
Yeah, 4 booms.
This is from the traveling linemen's in Lake Las Vegas, Nevada. Mm-hmm. And it was on this day.
Joe, today is Feb 27.
Well, Chris, on this day in 1843, Thomas Lowry was born in Logan County, Illinois. Whoops, got the wrong page here. After arriving in Minneapolis in 1868, Lowry played an instrumental role in establishing the Twin Cities streetcar system. He died in 1909, and there's a fighting chance that Lowry Hill, for example, would be named after him.
Got it.
Lowry
L-O-W, not
Avenue.
like the salt.
Lowry.
Yeah.
And finally, boy, we didn't do much. We didn't do much at all in February in this state.
Kind of a low-key month.
On this day,
on Feb 27.
In 1857, Waseca County was formed, named with the Dakota word meaning rich in provisions. Also on this day, a humorous episode in Minnesota history began. Joseph Rolette, a fur trader representing Pembina. Is it Pembina or Pembina?
It's Pembina, North Dakota.
Pembina in the territorial legislature stole the text of a bill to move the capital from St. Paul to St. Peter.
Yeah, that's right.
Although the bill had been passed, it had not been signed by the governor. Rolette disappeared until the legislature adjourned on March 7th, hiding in the Fuller House attic while the bill rested in a hotel safe.
Wow. That is fantastic.
That was a little humor
That's
they called
old
that.
school, antics, huh?
But it was.
Trickeration.
You know what it was, Matt? Mischief.
Early trickeration.
Do you have a sports item to bring us all down?
Of course I do. On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history, Feb 27. On this day in 1992, even Mike Lynn had enough, bailed on it, and sold his shares of the Vikings.
He sold it in 92?
Yeah.
When was he done being the GM or whatever?
I thought he worked for Red.
No, he was gone before
Well,
Red.
then he's gone in 1992. He sold his shares.
Well, the great thing is, in perpetuity, you got that sweet
He
money.
got sweet income.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But I think he might have.
Well, yeah, because Denny would have taken over in 91.
I think he was weary of trying to browbeat the public into building a new stadium. And they finally did, of course.
Yeah, because Lester didn't have a problem with that.
No.
Hey, before we go here, could you give us a little bit of the whistle? And then I have another new email from Bert who got the whistles for you. Give us that whistle, Joe.
Oh, he's in duress.
Oh, he's getting his ass kicked.
Bert says, when I picked the whistles up from the nice woman at the waterworks, I told her I wanted 6 of them, and we negotiated to 3. I told her I was just a distributor and don't use a whistle. She then asked what I used, and reading the cues told her she didn't want to know. Her face went a little dark as she knew what I meant.
Fantastic.
So thank you very
Bert.
much, Bert.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, here you go. This will keep you out of trouble.
Are you going to wear that around your neck when you're going for your walk?
No, I'd rather take my chances.
Well,
than
I
have
guess,
this.
wait a minute. I need a point of clarification then.
No.
This is a Minneapolis-issued whistle. Will that work in St. Paul?
No.
It only
In fact,
works.
where
Maybe-
we sit now, as I examine the building geographically, I think we're on the Minneapolis side of the building.
No, we're in the St. Paul
Oh,
side.
we are on the St. Paul
side.
side? Well, that's why I'm only getting this.
I guess that's probably why it's not working
It's
as
not
well.
at full throttle.
But
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
you said you're not going to wear it on your watch. Is that because you don't want to be caught dead with that thing?
Right.
around
I
your
don't want
Right.
to do this. In fact, here it comes. It's coming off. There
You
it
get
is.
it tangled up in your head.
Oh,
Hang one of
God.
those on
Now,
my
what do you do here? Look at
bulletin
that.
board, Chris, right
all
next to
done.
that
Let's
woman
go right
dancing
through
in
his,
the line.
Look at right through
Because
the
you put
seats.
your headphones on after. You got to unplug
Right
and
there.
plug
Okay.
in.
Thank you,
Thanks.
GLers.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please do us a favor and
Yeah.
hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. On that YouTube channel, you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. And you can also follow along with all the videos and segments and shorts, behind the scenes coverage that we're putting on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. And you can interact with the show live. It's a neat function about
You know,
the
Bert
Garage Logic.
shipped these over in a beautiful new Ziploc bag. You want that for your golf balls?
Oh, I can.
Golf balls.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
take
Thank
it.
you. Also, follow us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And what else? Oh, the Daily Logician. It's an email. It comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And yes, it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. So sign up right now and find out more at garagelogic.com.